This is the AMDM, your quick morning podcast full of Memphis news. I'm Natalie Van Gundy. Today is Monday, June 29th. Memphis Mayor Paul Young is making some big changes in his office. Last week, his office announced it wants to replace COO Antonio Adams with Chris Winton as Senior Vice President at Comcast and CFO Walter Person with Art Davis. He most recently worked under Person, but you might know him from his time as an executive with Memphis River Parks Partnership. There are several other new appointees too, and all must first be approved by the Memphis City Council. Young said the changes are about delivering at a higher level. The renovation and rebranding of Millington's Hot Rod Racetrack is not on track. The new Dorana Memphis Motorsports Park was supposed to be ready in time for stock car races and regional team finals by this October, but that timeline has been pushed back to sometime next year. The International Hot Rod Association is behind the renovation of the blighted track, and it's been embroiled in leadership issues. A baseball team of little kids just gave St. Jude Children's Research Hospital a really big check. The Bayshore River Dogs, a Little League team from Tampa, Florida, delivered $51,000 to St. Jude last Friday. The team held a fundraiser where the kids hit baseballs from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. The team made such an impression that Memphis Little League may join them next year. And now it's time for a look at This Week in Memphis with Bianca Phillips. But stay with us after that for more of the day's news.
Good morning. I'm Bianca Phillips, the Daily Memphians newsletter editor, and I'm filling in for our usual host, Mary Casciola, who is out today. It's Monday, June 29th. Filling in for Mary, who I guess is actually filling in for me, is our digital director, Holly Whitfield. So we are here to talk about what's going on this week. Hello, Holly.
Hello, Bianca. Thanks for having me.
Anytime that I'm Mary and I can have you.
Yes.
So this week we've got some things happening. The Shelby County Schools Board meets Tuesday, and they are set to vote on a couple of contract renewals for two things that are a little controversial. There's Power School, which is a data management system they use. And MSCS is actually suing them as part of I think it's a big class action lawsuit because there was a data breach from Power School in 2024. So this lawsuit is still active, but they are looking to renew their contract with them. And they have said the reason is because changing systems would just take a long time.
Probably cause a lot of fallout.
Yeah. So it's just easier, I guess, for them to be like, sure, we'll do it again. The other thing they're set to vote on is their contract with iReady, which is an online learning platform. It hasn't received a lot of pushback in Memphis, but it's just getting some national criticism from parents and educators who are concerned about screen time.
Right.
On the screens at school and you're on the screens at home.
I don't know. On the screens everywhere else.
Yep. And then Wednesday, the new laws, Tennessee laws that were passed in this last legislative session will go into effect on Wednesday, which is the start of the state's fiscal year.
Yep. New month, July 1st.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of laws, bunch of things that were passed. They did a lot with immigration-related things this year. So you're going to see laws about one protects the identities of ICE officers. There's new penalties for those who don't comply with deportation orders. That's just a couple of a lot of immigration laws that go into effect. There's also a law that increases penalties for those who threaten school shootings, which,
makes sense.
Yeah. There's also new penalties for people under 21 who buy vape products, which is interesting. I don't know. I would think that, the people who sell the vape products to the kids might be, but I guess if you buy the vape products and you get caught, you're going to get in trouble.
More.
Yeah.
More in trouble.
More in trouble. And then there's a new penalty for those who are caught spiking drinks, which is interesting. So those all go into effect Wednesday. There's a whole bunch more. And
read up on the laws so that you don't
break any of them.
Yep.
The new state takeover board that's over Memphis Shelby County Schools has their second meeting, I guess. They met for the first time a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And they elected their first, it was when they were a meeting, they were just kind of handled their business. They elected their chair, which is Billy Orgel, kind of decided some committees and stuff. So we're not sure yet what they're going to be talking about at this meeting, but should be interesting. Also, there's a lawsuit now. So since that last meeting happened, the Shelby County Schools and the Shelby County government have come together on a lawsuit against the takeover. So
Yeah, I know one of the things they did at the first meeting recently was to get an attorney and get ready for that. So it seems like they're taking over, but they're also fighting for the right to take over.
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they do get down to any actual business or brass tacks, what they think about any decisions the existing school board makes on Tuesday night about the contracts. That's money spent by the school. So
Yeah.
if they have oversight, financial oversight, the oversight board, I don't know, will they reverse the decision? We don't actually know for sure how that's going to play out. So we'll definitely be covering it, though, at the Daily Memphian.
It's the wild, wild west out there in the
It
school
is.
board land. Okay. And probably the biggest thing happening this week, most exciting thing at least, is 4th of July. And it is America's 250th birthday.
Woohoo.
Yay. Holly, you've been up on all these fireworks shows.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about some of the highlights?
I can. We have a great guide to Independence Day, the 4th of July, like starting kind of on the 1st and through the weekend at dailymemphian.com. But some highlights of big ones that people are always asking about every year. The Redbirds have a series of home games, a homestand, they call it, on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I think they usually have fireworks on Saturday nights. And then back to the 2nd on Thursday night, there'll be fireworks at Liberty Park, sort of on the cusp of Midtown, East Memphis, right there, East Parkway. So they'll have fireworks that night at dusk, which I don't know what time dusk is now, 10 p.m., midnight. I don't know. You can look up when dusk is, and that's when the fireworks will be on July 2nd. On July 3rd, Graceland is actually doing, they always have like kind of an all-American celebration all weekend, but their fireworks are going to be on the 3rd, around 9 o'clock. And then people always want to know about the downtown fireworks. So Downtown Memphis Commission is hosting a fireworks and drone show on the actual 4th downtown. So if you want
Fireworks
to...
and drone show.
Yeah, like where the drones all fly in a formation. It makes shapes in the sky. It's a light show.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a light show, but the lights are
That sounds
attached
more
to
interesting
drones.
than just looking at drones in the sky.
You're right, but imagine at night and the drones have lights on them.
Okay. That's fun.
I was picturing it in my head and I was like, I need to get this across. But hopefully it's some traditional fireworks as well. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of festivities. Like every neighborhood and municipality, suburb, city in the surrounding area, North Mississippi, all kind of have their own parades or fireworks. You can find those in our guide or ask your neighbors.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it. I hope you have a happy July 4th. You can read about these events and more in This Week in Memphis on our website. Thanks for joining me, Holly.
Thanks for having me.
And back to you, Natalie.
Barbecue joint Jim and Nick's has opened its 62nd location. Aaron Fleming says the restaurant, located in Olive Branch, is the chain's first Mississippi location.
The Birmingham, Alabama founded chain already has 10 restaurants in Tennessee, including one in the Memphis-Cordova area. Other locations include Alabama, along with Georgia, Florida, and North and South Carolina. Soft opening was held last Friday and Saturday for the Olive Branch location and brought around 600 guests and $31,000 in sales, according to owner Justin Thompson. Thompson also said they received around 2,100 applications to work at the new location and hired 85 from that batch. For the Daily Memphian, I'm Aaron Fleming.
Third grade students in Shelby County's 6 suburbs are reading better than the state's average, according to recent Tennessee testing results. Abigail Warren says the state requires third graders who do not score proficiently in English language arts to either repeat third grade or complete remedial work, sometimes during the summer, to advance to fourth grade.
Millington saw strong gains in English language arts, with a jump of 12 percentage points compared to the year prior. Arlington saw drops in English language arts, both at the third grade level and grades 3 through 8. Math scores in the suburbs were fairly stable compared to the year prior. The suburban districts, with the exception of Millington, all performed well above the state average. For the Daily Memphian, I'm Abigail Warren.
Libro, a cafe located inside Novel, is opening a second location at the new Memphis Art Museum downtown. Sophia Surratt says, according to Libro co-owner John Paul Gagliano, the new location will have a similar concept as the one in Laurelwood.
The restaurant is expected to open January 2027 and will be an integral part of the Memphis Art Museum, according to Zoe Carr, the museum's executive director. It will have its own entrance and its own life in the street. The museum, the latest version of the current Memphis Brooks Museum of Art, is expecting 400,000 guests a year after its grand opening downtown. For the Daily Memphian, I'm Sophia Surratt.
The developer behind the restoration of the historic Starrick building plans to turn a quiet downtown Memphis corner into a bustling public market that could serve as a catalyst for neighborhood growth and strengthen the food economy. Andy Ashby says the newly formed nonprofit Hi-Fi Memphis bought 2 buildings at 158 Madison Avenue and 164 Madison Avenue for $1 million.
The estimated $30 million Memphis public market would turn the buildings into a 24-stall public market with vendor spaces for farmers, grocers, butchers, bakers, prepared food operators, artisans, and specialty retailers. The property could also host business incubation programs and workforce development initiatives while offering additional support for local food businesses. The opening date isn't set and depends on a lot of variables, including fundraising, grant procurement, and construction costs, among other things. For the Daily Memphian, I'm Andy Ashby.
That's the AMDM for this Monday, June 29th. I'm Natalie Van Gundy. Find links to all of the stories mentioned in this episode in the podcast description. Listen and subscribe to this podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or on the Daily Memphian's website. You can also hear us on WYXR 91.7, where our local news stories air every weekday throughout the day. And don't forget to subscribe to our other weekly podcasts hosted by your favorite reporters, including Sound Bites with Holly Whitfield, The Sidebar with Eric Barnes, and the Daily Memphian Grizzlies podcast with Drew Hill and Chris Harrington. You can also sign up for our breaking news alerts and our many weekly newsletters we offer, like the early word that you heard at the top of this podcast, by visiting dailymemphian.com/email. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to start your day here again tomorrow.